God seems to have been so much good to me that people were making inquiries, who is this man? Some even joking, saying that even his name, Olasubomi, attracts them. The role which friends like the Awijale and many others whom I can't mention here today have played in my life was not only God devised, it was of God's doing, but more than that, I think it helped me to proceed to the ultimate place which the good Lord prepared for me.
The story of Otunba Balogun is that of a God-fearing man who from his teenage had seen that the true value of wealth is only achieved when such is used to serve humanity, especially the less privileged and vulnerable. Otunba Shubumi's early life and attitude were influenced by his closeness to his mother, Adebukola, a granddaughter of Oba Adesimbo Tunwase I.
When I was 3 or 4, my mother had started teaching me ABD and ABC. She even took a lesson teacher for me. So when at 6, my father put about 4 of us into school. I was the youngest.
Both parents of Shubumi Balogun came from prominent families in Ijabode.
My mother was the only educated wife my father had. We had 2 very well-known Christian families in front of us. The Mafes of the Otubushin stock, Aburo, the later we got a name, Mrs. Mafe, and also a member of the Arroyo Joy house.
After a brilliant stint at the Igbobi College, Shubumi was employed briefly as a tally clerk at the USC before he got a government job at the Nigerian Railways. He later moved to the newly established Nigeria College of Arts, Science and Technology at Ibadan. Shubumi had made up his mind that he would scout for any scholarship that would enable him go to Britain. He eventually left the shores of Nigeria on September 22, 1956.
And the first time that we will meet was what they called Freshers' Nights. Freshers' Nights was like the matriculation into the London School of Economics.
London School of Economics opened a new view of the world for Shubumi as he met with many Nigerians who would be among the nation's movers and shakers in later years, including Yakubu Gowon, who became a military head of state.
He was, I understand, at the London School of Economics, studying law, and I was at Sandhurst. We stayed at the Commonwealth students' hostel.
Towards the end of his studies at the London School of Economics, Shubumi was selected for a training in the art of law drafting by the government of the Western region, thus becoming the first Nigerian to be trained as a parliamentary counsel.
Government of Awolowo trained me as a legal draftsman. Then I was the first blackface to be seen in the British Parliament walking.
His return to Lagos was a short distance to the realization of his dream. After an initial maze, he was appointed Principal Counsel and Company Secretary of the newly established Nigerian Industrial Development Bank.
The relationship between my family and Otunba goes back over 40 years. My late father, Chaim Weiss, my mother, Batia, and myself came to Nigeria in 1960, before independence. In the late 70s, during indigenization, my father invited Otunba to take shares in his company, ETCO, a company in the electrical and mechanical construction field, and the relationship grew even stronger.
He responded to a new challenge in a way that was almost phenomenal. He was instrumental to the public issue, for example, of UAC, the biggest of them all.
Otunba had been a determined and somebody with vision. And because he moved so close to God, he decided to have his own bank. And through that, he has impacted so many lives.
There was a central bank at that time that you have to have 25 million, which was a lot of money in that time. And he was one of the few that was able to get his act together, and his own bank surfaced. You know, it all went. I think he's a professional to the core.
I had a dream and a vision which I have translated into a mission. That mission was to set up an institution that will earn worldwide respect. I did it because I wanted to prove that Nigerians, given the opportunity and necessary encouragement, can attain the commanding heights in the management of a world standard financial institution. One's dream have not only been achieved, but they have been surpassed.
I first met Otunba Balogun in the early 90s when I was a member of the Guinness Treasury team in London, working with our team and a team from First City Merchant Bank, as it was then, and we created something called the Irredeemable Convertible Loan Note. That turned out to be the pillar of refinancing Guinness Nigeria.
He helped to bring home to the then expatriate controlled banks in the same line that the only way to assist in the development of industries in Nigeria is by really understanding the philosophy of Nigerians when it comes to running a business and managing it. And he was also able to encourage younger elements.
In particular, he had a huge amount of time for young people. I mean, we ourselves were only about 3 years into building our own business then, trying to walk the same path he had walked about 30 odd years before. He saw that and seemed to make it his business to see me succeed. Never quite telling me what to do, he always found a way, either with an anecdote, to steer me in the right direction.
Otunba was a great entrepreneur and a philanthropist, and he was also recognized by the Italian government. He was awarded with the title of Cavaliere of the Republic of Italy. He was a great leader in his industry. He was a point of reference.
Baba, as we called him towards the end, was an astute banker, a professional to the core, a man that knows what he wants and gets it, a workaholic, and father to all of us.
He sold FCMB share to me on credit, in which I pay instrumentally, and within the first 3-4 years of working with him, I became a millionaire.
When he turned 83 in 2017, Otunba Balogun spoke of a conviction. He had a duty to devote the rest of his life to serve God, society, and do things that add value to humanity. A continuation of the ideals he had pursued in the greater part of his life.
In 1987, when I was Chairman Medical Advisory Committee of the UCH, and we were celebrating the 30th anniversary of the establishment of the University College Hospital in Ibadan. And he said to me, cousin, what shall I endow in UCH? Because I knew his passion for children, I said, the Children Emergency Center. And he said, what name do we call it? And I said, let us call that center the ancestral name of our parents. So that center now is Otunba Tunwashe Children Emergency Room in UCH.
In 1989, he donated the Olasubomi Child Care Center to this hospital in collaboration with the state government then. And it's not just the ward, there's a pediatric outpatient too attached to that ward. So it's not just the ward, there's also an outpatient care center that he donated. And since then, this has been of tremendous help.
After a long, fulfilled life, nobility, incredible business accomplishments, and charity, Otunba Olasubomi Balogun was called to glory on the 18th of May, 2023.
The President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, and his Lagos State counterpart Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Friday, May 19th, 2023, mourned the passing away of the Olori Omoba of Ijebu-Land and founder of the First City Monument Bank Group, Otunba Olasubomi Balogun.
Actually, the night before he made his final journey to Britain, I don't think there was anything wrong with him. He called me and he said he was traveling the following day. It sounded normal and everything. So his passing was a very great shock to me because I wasn't expecting it at all. So, but there it is.
I put myself among his friends, even though there's an age gap, because I think for us, again, we should take heart. We lost a dear friend, a cherished friend, one that we respected, but they say the Lord taketh, the Lord giveth. And so in that spirit, we can take it that, yes, the Lord took away Otunba, but he gave us Otumba's legacy.
And I wish Olori, it's a big loss, because I visited her at home and I just knew that, no, this is going to be pretty tough. But God will soothe her, God will comfort her, God will be the angel that is always guiding her, and she will be at peace.
I was with him January 3rd when we had this New Year prayer session. He demanded he would want to reach age of 100 before he dies. God has said he will go at the age of 89. And then here we are. May his soul rest in peace.
God will console Olori Abimbola. It is fresh, it was a bit sudden, but it's the good Lord that calls us when He puts us in this world. So He will call us when He thinks it is time for us to go.
He was very generous generally, he was a philanthropist generally, but he was particularly generous with the church, both in Lagos, Anglican Communion, but perhaps even more so in his native Ijebu-Ode. My prayer is that he will forever rest in the bosom of the Lord.
Ọmọ bọ́rọ̀gún là ṣe so, ṣìwọ̀ṣìwọ̀ là ṣòwò. Bí owó bá regún là ṣe sọ, bí ààrẹ ẹgbàá wà sọ́wọ́, bí olè lárí. Ọmọ onílé ńlá tí ń ba olè lẹ́rù, ọmọ agun ẹṣin lọ́sàn, gbin ènìyàn lóru, ayọ̀ bí ẹni ọba ń bọ̀, arìn gbẹ̀dẹ̀ bí ẹni ẹ̀gbẹ́ ń dùn. Ẹ̀gbẹ́ ò dùn, ara ló fi ń ré, ọmọ òsì lóyè joyè. Ó jẹ Balógun tán. Ó wá jẹ Sẹ́ríkì, ọmọ Balógun dòdò ń dá wà, ọmọ arójò joyè, adélé tejiteji, ọmọ afẹ́ àránpòjò, ọmọ ayé nínú àrá bàtà bútú, ọmọ olówó joyè méjì. Ó jẹ Awùjalẹ̀ tán, ó tún jẹ Dàgbúrèwe, ó jẹ oyè kí oyè wu ní jẹ. Ọmọ Lísà, ògẹrú ìlú, òru ìlú kò wọ̀ ọ́ lọ́rùn.